Cheryl. Thank you. Thank you all for having us today. My name is Bob Dry. Running for judge of the 189th District Court in Collin County. I am here to humbly ask for your support and vote. I'm a civil litigation attorney with Game of Flies and Sword and Roberts here in Plano. I live in McKinney. I have a father of 3 beautiful kids. Our pictures right out there. Fortunate to marry my lovely bride. Actually in law school. We had our first child in law school, so it's been a little crazy since then. But wouldn't change anything that we've done. I am a civil litigation attorney. Work for one of the top litigation firms in the county. I ask you to check out our firm. We've got a record of excellence for a long time. We've got over 200 years of legal experience as a firm. And the firm has been very good to me as a foundation to build my practice on. Besides these legal qualifications, I want you to know the following about me personally and about the judge I'll be. I'll be tough on crime, fair, and humble because my values are Collin County Republican values. I have been raised and raising my children to make service to community and to Collin County a priority. And I have concrete ideas for both fiscal responsibility from the bench. First and foremost, tough on crime, fair, and humble because of my Republican values. What that means to me is I'll be humble to God, humble to the Constitution and laws of our great state and country, and humble to the citizens of Collin County. I work for you. You're my bosses. If you decide I'm not doing the job you need me to do, you vote me out. It's plain and simple. I ask that you give me an opportunity to earn your support first, though. I'll work for a safe and prosperous county. Tough on crime. I walked home from Wells Elementary in Plano, and my daughter does the same. I believe once guilty, criminals must be punished. That means more fines and more jail time. I talked about service to community. I'm on the board at City House and SciTech Discovery Centers. I'm on board of trustees of my church, First United Methodist Church in McKinney, a former teacher, former youth director. You're electing more than a lawyer. You're electing a public servant. And I ask for your support.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Angela Tucker, and I'm also running for the 199th District Court. About me, I am born and raised here in North Texas. Went to the University of Texas at Austin and SMU for my law degree. I started my legal career here in Collin County 15 years ago as an assistant district attorney. Since that time, for the last 11 years, I've been in private practice in McKinney. I have practiced in every court in this county from the level of JP court all the way up to district court. I have tried everything from a Class C traffic ticket, our lowest level court, all the way up to a death penalty case, which is our highest criminal case that we have. I've argued before the Court of Appeals, the candidates that you just heard, and I've also interned for the Supreme Court of Texas in Austin, which you learned when we first started is the highest civil court that we have in the state. This court handles civil, criminal, and family, and all the judges on the city district court judges also serve as members of the juvenile board, and they manage the court staff. As far as my experience goes, I'm the only candidate in this race that is experienced in all 3 areas of law. I'm the only candidate that has a criminal practice and a family law practice, which is important because this court handles those cases primarily. Those are the most criminal and family. I'm also the only candidate that has tried death penalty cases. That's very important because those cases cost taxpayers thousands and thousands of dollars. If you have a judge that doesn't know what they're doing, the taxpayers are going to pay for those cases twice because they're going to come back on appeal. I'm also the only candidate in this race that practices juvenile law. That's important because, as I said, the judge elected this bench will be a member of the juvenile law board. So I bring that to the table too. I've also managed a business for the last 10 years, and so the judge elected to this bench will also be responsible for managing the court staff. So I bring that to the table as well. I have many endorsements. I ask you to check out my website, AngelaTuckerForJudge.com. And as I've said before, if you do not believe experience is important, then look at your White House and what's happened in the last 3 years, and then tell me experience doesn't matter. Ask for your vote. Thank you.
Okay, we're going to start with Mr. Dry on the first question. How do you view the separation of powers?
Separation of powers in our country is really the foundation on which everything is built. Established by the Constitution, the checks and balances established by the Constitution are what keeps us from turning into a dictatorship, from turning into some kind of oligarchy. the laws written by Congress, enforced by law enforcement, actually judged by judges, as whether or not they pass muster with the Constitution. We've gotten away from that in a lot of instances. We've heard a lot of talk about active judges, and really, especially the federal judges that are lifetime appointed, that is the biggest hurdle in the separation of powers. I think it's a big problem because they lack that check other than the Congress going in and writing the law, which is much more difficult than making the judge.
We have three branches of government: the judicial, the executive, and the legislative. In my opinion, if each branch will stay in their lane, the system works as it was intended to. The problem is when we have people going outside of their lane, like when we have a president that continues to give these executive orders, he is outside of his lane. As Bob said, when we have judges that are trying to legislate from the bench, that the system no longer works the way that it's intended to do so. So if elected, I will not be a judge that legislates from the bench. I would follow the law, and if I had a problem with the law, I have to do what everybody else in this room can do, is pick up the phone or go to Austin and say, I don't like the way this is playing out in my court, and it needs to be changed.
Okay, Mr. Dry, if you became aware of unethical conduct in the court,
I think first goes to Ms. Tucker this time. Doesn't it?
oh, I'm sorry. That's correct. Ms. Tucker, if you became aware of unethical conduct on the part of the trial advocate in a case in which you were presiding, how would you handle it?
That's a very broad question. I think it depends on what the violation is, and the perceived violation is. I'm assuming you mean by an attorney practicing in court.
Yes.
I think it's important, and I've said this before, to treat everyone with dignity and respect that participate in the court process. I think sometimes we have an experienced lawyer that may not perhaps know that what they're doing is not correct. So I don't think the appropriate position to take is to judge them down in court. We have to bring them up to the bench or some chamber to discuss it. If it's very, very egregious, then of course we also have ways of handling that as well as far as reporting it.
That's an excellent question. First, my experience with our fellow colleagues and the judges here, we have a very ethical legal community in Collin County. We're fortunate for that. And I agree with my opponent that respect is first and foremost. I don't think we see a lot of unethical conduct that's intentional necessarily, but we see unintentional. And I would hope that could be addressed either in chambers with both attorneys present to discuss what's happened. But if it is egregious, like my opponent said, or if it is intentional, it must be dealt with appropriately and harshly, because it damages the legal community, it damages the opinion of all attorneys practicing, and it damages the bench as well. And really, like we talked about, the foundations of our society are founded in the law, and unethical conduct really shapes those foundations.
Okay, Angela.
Nope.
Mr. Driver, sorry. You're trying to screw it up. What is the rule of law and what is the foundation? Seem to get all the hard ones first.
Rule of law is what we as citizens have decided it should be. We elect legislators to write the law. I think first and foremost, the foundation is the Constitution. Beyond that, for me personally and for our founding fathers, the foundation is the Bible and God. The Constitution and the inalienable rights that we hear about and talk about that help form the basis of our early country and our Constitution. They are the foundation off which the rule of law is built. The rule of law gets into more detail than the Constitution is able to. It is what we as citizens have decided we need to have written into laws and stay as laws and have enforced to keep our society fair and give everyone equal opportunity. I'll end there. Thank you.
I would agree with Bob that the foundation of this country is the Constitution as far as our laws and the way we conduct ourselves. I think one of the previous speakers stated that there tends to be this group that believes that the Constitution is no longer a living, breathing document. I would disagree with that. I believe that that is the foundation of this country, and when we start to pull away from that, we see what we have now, which is decline and decay of our country and what we're founded on. So I think first and foremost that is what should come first. As far as rule of law and statutes, we've heard from the judges that look at that and determine if those laws and statutes are constitutional, and so that should be the base. As a trial judge, yes, you have to follow the law, but the appellate courts are going to look at whether or not those laws are actually constitutional in what our country is founded on.
Starting with Ms. Tucker. Last question. Which federal court decision do you think has most impacted society? How and why?
I think the Supreme Court decision that continues to affect us the most is Roe v. Wade, obviously the abortion issue. But there are many, many decisions that have affected us. Plessy versus Ferguson, which is desegregation of the school system, obviously is another huge case. There's many, many in our history, but I think the one case that we continue to deal with and struggle with as Republicans and as Christians is Roe v. Wade. And I'm glad to be on the side of right, where we continue to fight the good fight in hopes that we do get a change that we want in that area.
There are a lot, and that's a difficult question to answer too. And I would like to take a different route. And one case that came not too long ago, and forgive me, I'll read the name. Essentially, the Supreme Court said that the municipalities, the government can take your private property if it serves a public purpose, and define that very broadly to where I believe it was in Connecticut. They could use that. They could use that definition, the public purpose, to even improve economic value or economic development in their area. I thought that was a terrible blow for private property rights in our country, and frankly thought the Supreme Court overstepped their bounds. I agree with the dissent in that matter. And probably not the most important federal court decision, but I feel like in these days, this day and time, that is a very important decision that we decided on.